We got that Poppa Pank. We got that Poppa Pank. We got that Poppa Pank. We got that Poppa Pank.
Yes. Let's get it started. Welcome.
Hey, everybody.
Yes.
We got that Poppa Pank. We got that Poppa Pank. We got that Poppa Pank. We got that Poppa Pank.
Greetings. Welcome to the Poppa Pank podcast. I am Jaylene Clark Owens, and this is my friend and my co-host,
Justin Jane.
There's a lot of gray in the world. We think it needs a little more pink. Poppa Pank. We are Philly-based, multi-hyphenated, and award-winning actors taking on all things arts and culture in this joy-forward and ever-playful variety podcast. You are listening to the tunes of our theme song composed by Jordan McCree, member of the band Ill Dudes. We love them. We welcome you, our Pank Poppas, both old and new. Please rate us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, or wherever you get your podcasts. We appreciate y'all. With that, let's get started.
Yes. Hi, everybody. We are so glad that you are here. Greetings from DeLand, Florida, from our live audience. So, March 2, 3, 4. March 2, 3, 4. March 2, 3, 4. It's March.
It's March.
It's March. Can you believe that it has been a year since the pandemic started here in America?
Child.
It has been a rough time for many, but through it all, folks have found a way to persevere. We want to talk about the ways in which artists, particularly theater artists, have had to pivot in our own practices and careers. Known for our person-to-person collaborations and sharing our work with live audiences, how we have had to adapt when all of that was taken away. We'll hear about that all today. You'll hear from both Jaylene and myself in our personal artistic journeys over the last 12 months, and even recount some of our past guests and the insights they've shared. Speaking of past guests, Jaylene, in case folks missed it, who was in our last episode?
Yes, our last episode, we had Brian Anthony Wilson, the Barrymore award-winning actor who has truly made a name for himself in theater, as well as appearing in over 180 film and TV projects. So it was so good. It was such a joy to talk with Brian, or Baw, as some folks know him, and to just learn about his career and play some games. Of course, he is very sweet. So if you missed that episode, make sure after this one, you just go on ahead, check us out on the YouTube or right here on Facebook. Also, it's March. It's my birthday month. So I just had to say that. Like, I love March. Okay.
She was going to get to that at some point, but you just led right with it.
I had to, because we can't sit over here and say, oh, it's March, and not say it's my birthday month. It's also Women's History Month, let's be clear.
It's also my daughter's 5th birthday month. So she's...
Let's be clear on that.
So there's a lot happening in March. We're going from winter to spring. Baseball is in spring training. And insert another thing here. There's a vaccine in the world. There's more than 2 now.
Yes.
Anyway, before we get into the episode, we are so excited to once again be coming at you, our live audience today, with this special lunchtime episode. And this is where we normally be doing our Poppa Drank, but as much as we love day drinking, when we do a daytime recording, we bring a small plate of food for what we're calling Poppa Pank.
Well, I think it's about that time. Get your plate so we can clank.
It's time for that. Poppa Pank.
Poppa Pank.
Poppa Pank.
Poppa Pank.
Poppa Pank. And cheers. And cheers.
Arriba, abajo, al centro, para adentro. Chico de sacada. Mabuhay.
Yes. All right. So we learned from our last lunchtime episode not to be crunching in your ears. So, Jaylene, what do you have for lunch today? What tapas did you bring?
Today for lunch, I have a Chobani non-dairy strawberry yogurt. We're continuing on with my primarily vegan lifestyle. So this doesn't have any dairy in it. I don't even know what they use. I guess they use maybe coconut milk or oat milk. Something. It's not dairy.
You're primarily vegan, so sometimes you allow yourself other things sometimes.
Correct. Like, I'm not a strict vegan. I'm trying. I primarily, like, if I feel like, you know what, I want a little chicken, or I want a little seafood, I will do that. I still eat honey. Like, I'm not like OD, but now for my birthday, I'm gonna have some non-vegan stuff. Okay.
Wait, where are you? I'm gonna hear all about this, but where are you? What do you plan on eating on your birthday? Are you gonna go?
I'm going to have at least 2 restaurants in the tuck. Okay, ready to go. I got reservations at 2 places. Okay, so one of them is Steak 48.
Ooh.
That's like fancy, and the other one is fancy too. But we're getting taken out to that one. My husband and I are a week apart, so it's basically our birthday. So
Oh yeah! Wow, I didn't know that. My husband and I are a week apart too. That's
exactly
wild.
A week.
Well, 9 days.
That's not a week.
In the time is a construct.
What are you eating over there?
I am eating banana and chocolate muffins made by Adam Woods and our daughter Emilia. They're very delicious. So this is what they look like, but I like to open them up and then just put butter all over them. But banana and chocolate chips. Emmy, my daughter, loves baking, and these are really good. Yeah, we do a lot of cooking with her. So learning early is what we're trying to do. Because I didn't actually learn how to cook until I was in college or at high school.
Same.
And I think my mom had me in the kitchen every now and then to mix a thing, but Emmy's getting in there. She's she's working the food. Greetings, Poppa Pank family. Yes.
That's my Poppa Pank.
Yes.
My dad, my mom. They're saying hello. This is good. This Chobani. Oh, it says Chobani coconut right there. But yes, this yogurt is good. Tapas, Pank Papas. Pank Papas. Type in the comments. What are y'all having for y'all Poppa Pank? What are y'all eating? Are y'all eating lunch? Maybe some of you are having a Poppa drink. We don't judge.
Ooh, yes, I am all about that. Let's just pop the champagne. Maybe on your birthday episode. I know it's at night, but we will definitely have some bubbles. We should have bubbles on that one. Okay, let's move on. Let us know what you are eating out there or drinking. And with that, we're going to go into Pank News. So Pank News is the segment where we talk about anything we're vibing on this week in the arts. This could be anything from a theater show we've seen to pop culture events and visual arts. So Jaylene, we're talking about the news. What have you been thinking about this week in arts and culture?
Well, honey, in arts and culture this week on Sunday, we had the 78th annual Golden Globe ceremony. Ooh, did you watch it, Justin?
I have a complex relationship to awards and awards shows, but
I understand.
Yeah.
I understand. We're going to get to that. So this was aired on NBC, and it was Pandemic Edition. So you had Amy Poehler and Tina Fey, who have hosted it before. They returned as a duo, but Amy was on the West Coast and Tina was on the East Coast. And it was really cool how they split the screen and the backgrounds were similar. So it looked kind of like they were in the same place, but they were not. Side note, I am actually obsessed with seeing how people handle these pandemic pivots and handle these award shows. So I feel like any award show that is virtual, I will watch. If they were giving away prizes for I don't know, the best paint drying awards, I would watch those just to see how they handle the Zoom aspect and the digital. I love it. I enjoy it.
I haven't seen any of these. What is it like? Can you talk about they announce the winner and then they're the winner's on your screen in the Zoom being hi, I'm in my house.
Yes, people were in their houses. Sometimes they'll make the screen so that you see a bunch of people at one time in different houses. it seemed like they were showing, like they'd show snippets of like maybe moments where they knew they were on camera, but not really on camera. So the guests were just talking to each other. So they would show that. It was just really cool. Of course, the very first award, which went to Daniel Kaluuya. Child, don't get me messing up these names.
I don't know.
But he hold, yes, I had it right. See, second guessing myself. Daniel won that very first award, and he was on mute.
Oh,
and so he talked, and I was like, see, this is why I watch. And it also normalizes it in our life. Like if you're at home and you have a bunch of Zoom meetings to go to and you're accidentally on mute and give yourself some grace. Even NBC, who has literally millions of dollars in their budget to put on this show, they still had Zoom errors and mistakes. So just give yourself some grace there.
Now wait, I got a question. When they got the award, is it like the award winner suddenly is holding up a trophy in their space, or is there like an icon that they get sent, or they're like your award's getting mailed to you? How does that work?
Yeah, at this one, they said that the awards will be mailed safely later on.
I see.
At one of the shows I was watching, they had them. I forgot what I was watching. Was it the Emmys? Somebody, they had them delivering them like outside the door.
Oh my God! So like
they had.
So on the show, they announced it, and then it was like ding dong, and they ran to the door.
Child, I don't know how they did all that. I'm like, did they know so that it was in the house already? Like, I don't understand. But but not this one. This one, they'll get it later. Wow. But so yeah, I like that. And people still got the music. I tell you to hurry up. I was like, you can literally mute them though.
Mute them. And they do. When it's live, they like talk, and then suddenly they just cut out their mics. But it's so funny. Oh man,
so, I love watching all of that. What are folks? They having a whole conversation in the comments. Okay. So the reason why I wanted to talk about the Golden Globes, though, is because, of course, there was controversy, as I feel like there is with every single award show.
Every time. Ooh, I can't wait. What is it? What happened?
So Time's Up and some other organizations called out the Hollywood Foreign Press Association, put them on blast right before the award show for not having any Black members. And I was like, ooh. Mm-hmm. So they do have a few people of color, but no Black folks. And so the Hollywood Foreign Press Association is made up of journalists, and these are the ones that decide the winners of the Globes. And so apparently, I was reading a Times article about this. Apparently, the journalists are courted by Hollywood, like, celebrities send them handwritten holiday cards, and the movie studios will put these journalists up at like 5-star hotels. They get lavish gifts, And so, thinking that doesn't surprise me, but it's just like, hearing that makes you think like, it can make you think like, see, this is why, like you were saying, like, this is why I don't watch these award shows, because it's all rigged. Like it's all, this is all a scam. Like it's based as a popularity contest. It's politics. But while I get that, and I think that it's all of that. But at the same time, I think it's really important. Like Ava DuVernay, the director, said, what did she say? Okay, she said, the truth that's not often discussed is that awards play a part in the economic reality of Black filmmakers, artists of color, and women creators in this business. Unfortunately, these shiny things matter to those who finance, greenlight, produce, distribute, and market our projects. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I mean, you were saying that you felt the way about them. Did it stem from like it being kind of like a game?
It's the same thing. I mean, it's all politics and marketing and boosting names at different times, and it's a power thing. So it's like if you're giving an award to somebody, you're essentially giving them power for a little bit of time and a platform. And it's just like, who's to say what is better than something else? This is what's so hard for me as a teacher grading and giving feedback to young artists, it's like, how am I to put an A, B, C, or D, or F on this artistic expression that you've created? It feels a little bit the same way. It's like, oh, my excellence is in the hands of like a group of people who I've never met, who I don't even know what their faces look like, and I'm being adjudicated by them. So that part is a little bit fishy to me, but I do get that it's a game and that it's important in helping. It's like a review, right? I hate them, but also when you get a positive one, then that means butts are in your seats and you get to perform for people. It's all so complicated, but you know what? At the end of the day, I think it's steeped in supremacy.
What'd you say?
I think it's just supremacy at work.
Oh. Listen, I hear you. Best believe though, I want my awards.
Yeah.
I want them. And it does feel good to be acknowledged. Which is why, especially a lot of Black folk be like, well, that's why we need to have our own awards. And we do, and give ourselves our flowers, which yes. And I think we should do that. And also for me, I feel like it does feel good to be recognized on these stages, and it increases the bag. It gets you more money, yep. Point blank, period. Which is why I was really happy to see Daniel Kaluuya, and I really feel like it's not Kaluuya because that is a drink. I think that there's a at the end. Kaluuya, I think is what it is. I'm gonna look it up because I don't like messing up people's names. So I'm gonna do that. I'm glad that Daniel won. I'm glad that John Boyega won, and I'm glad that Andra Day won for. Did you see that yet? The Billie Holiday, United States versus Billie
I
Holiday.
did not see it yet, but
we gotta watch it.
Yep.
We gotta watch it. Chloe Zhao became the first Asian woman and the second woman in 78 years to win the award for Best Director. So yeah, these are all wins, but I feel like they shouldn't be few and far between. We need to see more of this. And as much as cancel culture and, calling people out, that could just be a lot. I do think it worked in this situation. Like, they were called out and enough noise was made that they had to address it. And now at the awards ceremony, members of the Hollywood Foreign Press Association came out and said, we have to do better. We will do better. We are going to have black journalists in the association. So boom, change is happening.
slow but happening, as always.
So what's going on over there? What you got to share in the Pank News?
Well, you know what? Today I want to talk about Australia because and the pandemic. I don't know if you've been seeing any pictures of Australia. Like, their clubs are bumping, they're open. Everything's great because they did all this hard work and they've kept their numbers to less than one daily case per 100,000 people. So that's less than one case. So there's complete days where they don't even have a single positive COVID case.
How did they do that?
Well, they've all been like really compliant with what their government has said. They closed their travel restrictions. They stayed to it. Everybody was just really, really diligent with everything that was being told to them by scientists and their government. In comparison, so they've had less than one daily case per 100,000 people. The U.S. daily has about 21 cases per 100,000 people. So if you start doing that math in your head, it's a lot. Still a lot of people getting infected here. Still a lot of people dying every day. But because of those low numbers, they've been able to open up everything from restaurants to bars. And most importantly, what I want to talk about is theaters. They're getting theaters back up and running. And it's been so hopeful because the shows have been packed. People are going.
Really?
And, it's not the same as it was pre-pandemic. So when people get there, there are temperature taking robots. If you're an audience member, you have to opt in for a scanning code for contact tracing. There are generous refund policies. Everybody has to be masked. There's plexiglass dividers in the orchestra. So it doesn't look like theater as we knew it before, but it is back in the swing of it. And even the actors have really strict backstage etiquette. Like, they can't hug or even pat each other on the shoulder. As soon as you're off stage, you are back into like intense protocols. The quarantine leading up to rehearsals and things like that are intense. They have stations as soon as they get off the stage to like do things. And everybody has to carry hand sanitizer. Theaters are divided into zones. So it's just a lot of compliance from all parties, whether it's actors or artists. Even the audiences have to, as I said, have contact tracing, but they have to stagger their arrival time, sometimes arriving at the theater as early as like an hour. And then as they exit, it's like exiting a plane. They have to like leave one row at a time. And so because of this, producers have been pivoting to Australia, like big Broadway and West End producers. So they have right now rolling, they have Frozen going, they have Hamilton going, they have the Harry Potter going, they have Come From Away. There's all these big shows that would usually be on these bigger markets, but now they're getting it all. So it's emotional feeling like, oh, that's potentially going to come back. It's going to be hopeful. And I can only imagine what those audiences feel like being in that place, or those actors for that matter, suddenly be in a full house, standing ovation, but everybody has a mask on. It must be weird and comforting all at the same time. But
I was going to ask that. So even though they have all these measures in place, they are still requiring masks, right?
Oh, yeah. Still requiring masks. And if you get concessions or anything like that, you have to eat them at your chair, sitting forward. There's just so many rules that and that everybody in Australia is super compliant about, and makes me a little nervous that maybe Americans won't follow the rules. But I don't know. If you're going to the theater, you've already bought in and said, I will do everything I can to participate in this. So that was really hopeful to read about. And I hope we start to take a little bit of a cue from Australia in the days coming ahead.
Meanwhile, Texas just lifted their mask mandate.
All that.
Lord have mercy.
I know, it does make me laugh. It does tickle me pink just a little bit.
Well, speaking of Tickled Pank, here we are. So Tickled Pank is where we usually talk about something that has recently been bringing us joy. And it's a bit of a catch up for Justin and I. So Justin, what has you tickled Pank these days?
Okay, so I want to plug and talk about these art classes I've been taking at Fleischer Art Memorial. That's an organization here in Philadelphia whose mission is to train artists, whether you are a hobbyist artist or a professional. Everybody, it's community based, and the website is here, fleischer.org. That's FLEISHER.org. And they offer classes in everything from ceramics to painting to woodworking, anything and everything. Such a huge, diverse roster of classes and professors. And so they've pivoted in the pandemic, as we all have, to doing online classes. And I used to take in-person classes, but I've been taking a figure drawing class and a portrait painting class. And I just community and the teachers and its motivation. I would show a piece, but I don't have it with me. But it's been so nice because it's online. I'm like in class with people from like Denver and New York, all over the world, all over the country. And they're affordable. And they also offer support. So if you can't afford a class, then you can also apply. And they have free classes as well. But I would say you go there, take a class. They're really fun. And that has been tickling me pink.
That's awesome. I can't wait to see my portrait.
Yes, I thought about it. You know what? I started a portrait, and I haven't told him yet. I started a portrait of Lindsay, and it is really bad. I'm just, I like, color theory is so hard for me to grasp my mind around, like undertones, overtones, warm lighting, cool lighting. And it's kind of like the opposite. Like if I have a warm light on me, I need to be painting cool colors. And that just breaks my brain. I can't fathom what that means.
Well, we'll wait for you to improve before you do my portrait.
Thank you. Or I'll just come in and do some face painting, like a dragon and a butterfly when we're in person. I'll paint your mask. What is you Tickled Pank?
Quite honestly, I actually tickled myself pickled.
You pickle Tank? She had herself pickled tank.
Pickled tank. I pickled myself tank. Yep. I actually tickled myself tank. Because on our January 27th episode, we sat here and I professed to all of you Pank Poppas and to the interwebs as Justin held my hand, like this. Yep. We were holding hands like this. And I said, I'm going to post on my Instagram every day for February. I said that. That's what I said. And I did it, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
I did it. We did it. We did it, y'all. And
tell people why you were posting every day in February.
Oh, for Black History Month.
Yeah.
And just to be consistent. I've never done that before, posting every day. It takes a lot. It can be all consuming. Okay. It takes a lot of planning, and I learned a lot. It's just a lot you got to get your captions ready. You got to get your hashtags. I was editing videos, adding captions. Lord, that was a whole thing. So it was a lot, but I did it. And through it all, I was able to, increase my social media community by over 700 people. And it was just really nice to see how with consistency in that exposure, the people will come. So I am not declaring that I'm doing it every day this month, although so far I have, but we're only three days in. I have to post something today, but I got to figure it out. Either way, I will definitely be more consistent than I have in the past. So that's has me Tickled Pank.
That's why organizations are now hiring these full-time positions. It's so much work. And when you look at influencers and all of they're just glued to their phones all the time. Do you know about this Influencers in the Wild? It's like a hashtag and also a handle that you can follow. Anyway, basically, it's when you're out in the world, and we've all seen it, you will see influencers out on the streets or store or something, and it's just them posing constantly and so there's now not a movement, but a thing where if you're seeing influencers in the wild, you film them and then you post that.
See, I don't like that. I feel like I'm gonna get caught on there one day.
No, but it's really funny because you watch videos of people start a thing and then they look at it, and it's them at work, but it's just fascinating because you're in an open field with nothing and they're just trying to look really, really good on camera and say the right things and get the right pose. But it is a job.
It is. It's a job, but I'm glad that I did it. And it certainly had me tickle Pank. Pank Poppas out there, let us know in the comments what has you tickled Pank. Clearly, I must have tickled Paul Pank.
With Pickled Pank.
With my pickled tank moment. But let us know. I mean, I think Janice is tickled Pank because she's eating seafood salad in Florida on a nice warm day. I mean, that sounds amazing.
Just I wish. Okay, let's go on to the meat of what we're talking about today. Our hot topic. Nice.
Hot topic is the part of our show where we highlight either myself or Justin as we bring to the episode something that we are passionate about in relation to the theme of that day. So today we've been talking about theater artists and adapting in this last year since the pandemic. So since Justin and I are artists, we wanted to share what our professional lives have been like in the last 12 months as we look back at how far we have come.
And so we have a few questions that we will both answer. And as always, if you're joining our live recorded audience, please feel free to ask any questions you might have. So my first question is, since we're talking about the pandemic and pivoting, what were you doing professionally or about to do when the pandemic hit?
I was at the tail end of my my JCO experience tour, JCO being my initials, JCO. And so that's where I go to a bunch of, colleges and perform my poetry. And so right around the time of the start of the pandemic, we had just finished Killer Whale at Renaissance in the Belly of a Killer Whale at the Wilma Theater. Thank goodness we were able to finish. We still feel so blessed to have been able to finish that run. And literally the week we closed on like a Saturday. And then that, I think Monday or Tuesday, I left to go to the University of Wisconsin at Green Bay to perform. And I remember being about to go on stage and I got the email that my show at Ithaca College that was coming up was canceled because of COVID. And by the time I got back to Philadelphia, all the remaining 3 shows that I had were all canceled. So yeah, that's what I was doing. What were you doing? What to do?
Well, I still can't believe it's been a year that we've been here for a year. But anyway, a year ago today, I was doing Shakespeare in Love at People's Light when we were in the middle of our run. And on deck, I had No Child. I was directing No Child at the Art and Theater Company. Now, that show is still happening, and we're going to go into rehearsals in just a couple weeks. But I will talk about that more in the future. But I was also at the same time teaching my classes at UArts in person and seeing some live shows. And my theater company, the Berserker Residents, we were hoping to tour our kids show from 2019. There were like a lot of other things in the works, but those all fell to the wayside. Everything on a dime just stopped. But because we are step pandemic, step pivot, it was nice to have space for parenthood, which was really a
great show.
A great show. Parent Trap.
But that's awesome. Now, we were speaking of award shows earlier. So I would like to know, what is your pandemic pick for top virtual artistic thing that you witnessed during the quarantine?
Oh, I love this. So one of the shows that I saw early on in the pandemic and which is still happening is called Eschaton. That's Eschaton, Eschaton. And this is made by the same people who created Sleep No More in New York City. And for those of you out there listening that don't know that, what that is, it's a kind of like immersive experience where you walk around a space or a building for a certain period of time, and there's performers and performances happening all around you. A little bit, it feels like a little bit dangerous and a little bit like you're in a different world. But basically, they've designed an interface that works with a website and many Zoom rooms to make a maze or like a choose your own adventure experience. It's only 60 minutes long, but it feels like there's 20 rooms you can visit. And there's, in all the different rooms, there's cabaret, there's burlesque, comedy, musicians, drag queens, DJs, performance art, dance. It's like all these different spaces that you go into, and you can stay for as short or as long as you want. And they're really top quality artists. So not only are you there and you're watching with other people on the screen, but you're like, oh, they're actually really good. And it's live, so they're interacting a little bit with the people that are coming in. Sometimes they like pull you to screen, that kind of thing. But it has like an appeal to come back because there's also this gaming aspect, like an escape the room kind of thing, where you're trying to put the pieces together of this character called Mary. The premise is like you're in a hotel and you're just visiting 4 different floors and different rooms. And sometimes the performer will give you a secret code, and then you go to the website, type in that code, and that leads you to another clue. And sometimes people get to meet Mary, who's another live performer in some secret room who you get to have a one-on-one interaction with. But it's been pretty much sold out a lot these days. And you get to see screens from all over the world. And it feels like a party because they like try to tell you dress up, turn down the lights, like get your favorite glass of wine. So it feels like it's nice to turn on the screen and people are like in their, their night out kind of dress. And I really want to go back because tickets are relatively affordable. At first they started at $10. Now they're around $15. But I also go because it's like it's employing a bunch of artists in a rough time. really nice. And I'm going to send it to you, and one day maybe you'll go and see, but it is a lot of fun.
It sounds cool.
What about you? What is something you've been vibing on this whole time?
My pandemic pick would have to be Versus. Just the whole thing in general. Like, I love that it exists and that it seems like it's going to continue to exist. I think the height of it was the Teddy Riley versus Babyface, which took place over like 3 weeks because they had the first one and then it was canceled, and then they did it again, but then they had to do it. Like, it was just such an experience. Like, I remember being on a Zoom party to watch it and talking about it with the people in the Zoom and like laughing. I laughed so hard. I laughed during it. I laughed afterwards with the memes. Like, that was such an amazing experience for the culture. Like, it was just, that's my pandemic pick.
I love it. Okay, so what is a project you've done during the pandemic that under any other circumstances you wouldn't have done, and what did you learn?
Definitely that whole posting every day. Like, if I was in a show and had to go to rehearsals and do, or do performances, or even if I was traveling like that, no, I would not have had time. So I am glad that I got to see how much work it is actually, while I don't have to go places. And so now I can adjust so that I can know, like, if I were to continue to do that, I would have to like plan maybe like at least a month in advance to get everything together so that it could be like on autopilot instead of like doing it little by little as we go.
Right. That reminds me of Tiani King, who was a guest on our show. She's a social media influencer and choreographer and performer based in LA. And we also had Heaven King on the show too, her daughter, who's also an influencer, and how both of them it really is just a business, and they're thinking long term, like you just said, about like, oh, I have something in the works. I'm not posting it yet, but keep your eye out. And I have been watching Tiani. It's really exciting, like how much she like evolves over the course of her social media life. And it's really exciting that you get to like watch a person change in that way. Have you been seeing anything she's been posting lately?
Yeah, I know she's into like posting a lot of like holistic living practices, and yeah. And she took some like dope photos. Like her Instagram aesthetic has changed, just like the look of it. Like, yeah, my friends dope, so it's like, yeah.
And then same with I see like David posts pretty regularly, who's also a guest on the show. It's like part of your craft is you have to both be your own marketer and manager as well as the artist. But for me, this whole time, generally, I've been doing a lot more film work, both as an actor and a director, and been finding creative workarounds with like how to do these things on the fly. There's other people out in the world who this is their career. For me, I'm learning it as we go. And when I did Heroes of the Fourth Turning with the Wilma Theater, I really got a lot of confidence as a film actor. I used to hate myself on film, but I'm like, oh, maybe I can do this. It's a different style. It's a different thing. But mainly the thing I learned most from was when I was directing 1812 Productions. This is the week that is. And it really taught me to let go of stuff and not be precious, because you're just having to like create stuff, capture it. Like, you can sit there and do 25 takes and never be happy. Or you could sit there and do like 2 takes and be like, you know what, that'll do. And I think that's where I landed, was just like, it's there. I'm putting this out in the world, and it's not perfect to me, and it will never be perfect. So that has been nice to kind of embrace that mentality. And I think the other positive thing that I've loved about this all is like collaborating over Zoom. Because only one person can speak at a time, it's really forced us to collaborate in a more mindful way, that when I'm talking, I have the space. When I'm listening, I can't interrupt somebody. And so it makes people who take up a lot of space really realize how much space they're taking. So I kind of love that, and I want to hold on to that. And I learned a lot. I've learned a lot about my collaborators and myself and how to share space in this way.
Yeah, I love that. I didn't even think about that, but that's true. You cannot talk at the same time in Zoom or no one will be heard.
Yeah, and
So I think that's good.
I've heard people say that that's a bad thing. It's just like one person gets the floor the whole time, but I'm actually no. There is a reason why like the totem of a talking stick existed. It's like you get to talk, everybody has to listen, and I feel like Zoom does that a little bit.
Well, speaking of Zoom, we've all had our moments on Zoom, I'm sure. So I want to know, have you had any crazy or memorable moments on Zoom? Like something that was either funny or that was frustrating or what?
Yes. So I guess I'm going to go two things. So the first is the mute button. So I've come to really love when someone's on mute and everybody in the room is like this, is they're like pointing at their ear and saying you're on mute, or somebody's like typing in the chat, you're on mute. And I love it more when
What?
I'm on. Yeah, just like that. That is my favorite thing. But my new favorite thing is the reaction afterwards. Because a lot of times, like, the person will be like this. Everybody's saying they're on mute. And then when they unmute, that like face or their reaction afterward, which is usually just like utter frustration or like shaking their head or they're swearing or whatever. It's really funny, that moment. So I've been like trying to embrace, if I'm ever mute, I've been practicing like what my reaction will be, because it's so heartbreaking when you see somebody so defeated.
So you practice that in the mirror? Let's see it.
Okay, so you're gonna have to tell me I'm on mute.
Okay, so you're on mute. You're on mute.
And I'm just gonna smile and shake my head and unmute myself and say, I was on mute.
That was great.
The other thing, I'm also like, I know a lot of people out there are doing this now, but you don't enter the Zoom until it's like on the dot, the time. And do you enter early, Jaylene?
I like to enter a little bit early.
Oh, wow. Okay, so I've noticed
in case something happens.
I used to enter early. I used to enter like 5-10 minutes early, just keeping everything on mute even. But now I'm just like, oh, I sit and I just watch the clock go like 58, 59. And then the second it clicks on the zeros, I'm like, enter. Because there's always like that weird, awkward, somebody's talking, nobody wants to. Anyway, that's also very funny to me. But what has been entertaining or funny for you in this moment?
Well, certainly wasn't funny in the moment, but afterwards I can chuckle at it. But before I changed my internet provider, for some reason, when I would do my Zoom college shows, the internet, something weird would be happening with the internet and my microphone. And so I'd start my poem. If you're not familiar, I have a poem called My Voice, My Choice. And it literally, the first few lines of it begin, hi, my name is Jaylene Clark Owens, and this is not my voice. And then I wind up changing my voice and talking in my normal register. And so I feel like when I would do that, the mic or the internet, something, it wouldn't know what to do. And so it would start making me sound like a robot. So here I am talking about my voice and how this is not my real voice. And on the other side, people are hearing me sound like a robot. And I bet they were very confused. Like, so wait, now, is this a part of it? Or what is going on? And I would just see the notification saying like your audio is unstable or whatever. And I'm like, how is my audio unstable? And I remember one day it was so bad, like I had to start the poem over again, which sucks when my whole premise in that poem is that in the beginning, you don't know that I've started the poem. You know, I'm introducing myself and saying, hi, my name is Jaylene Clark Owens, and this is not my voice. So to have to go back and do it again was very awkward for me.
I can only imagine how much you were freaking out on the inside, but it's also very funny now, looking back at it, that you're saying, hi, my name is Jaylene Clark Owens, this is not my voice, but it's like, my name is Jaylene Clark Owens, this is not my voice. It really makes me laugh, because I'd be like, Oh, what? How is she doing that? Cool. What is this weird like technology thing? Oh, I'm like, this is a comment on internet in America.
My gosh, just Lord.
Okay.
So,
I have one last question for us, and then we can move on to some games.
okay.
And we can make this quick. It's been easy to focus on the negative of this whole experience, but what positive artistic thing do you think has been a result of this whole situation this year?
Well, I think basically, we're seeing the possibilities of being able to do art in your home. So we even if things happen, we can still make art. Even if the world is going crazy outside, we can still make art happen right from our homes. Even if, we can't travel, we can't do this, we can't do that. We can still do the art in our homes. And also, I love that art has become more accessible to folks. Like you can now see artists who you maybe could never see them because they never performed in your town, or you didn't have the money to be able to go see somebody. Now you have access to them right in your living room. So I love that. Yeah, I love that this has made art more accessible to folks.
Yeah. For me, I'm really excited that a lot of the predominantly white organizations are having like a reckoning moment with like supremacist practices and doing educational work and training necessary for a more equitable future. Now in Philly, there's a lot of organizations that both you and I work at that are doing that work, and only time will tell if change happens. I think this is a good step in the right direction for all people. And I'm hoping it does lead to more diversity and representation at the highest levels of power, all the way through who are the butts in the seats and who's consuming the work that we're doing. So I love how everything has also become more accessible, and I hope we keep pulling that forward. That money, we're slowly taking the money equation out, and I really don't want to lose that. We're letting more people into what we do.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, looking ahead, I think we should look ahead into our Pank forecast.
So let's check in about anything upcoming that we're excited about for Pank forecast.
Ooh, Pank forecast.
For me, it's the Wilma Hot House shorts. If you haven't been seeing them, go check them out down here, wilmatheater.org/hothouse-shorts. And there are 4 up right now from some of our dear friends, and they range from everything from a video presentation to an audio play to a documentary and a web-based experience. So check those out. I've been loving watching those, and more are being released. And soon you will be seeing Jaylene and I in some. You just if Jaylene's featured in one of them, but I'm excited for a second one that Jaylene is featured in. What are you? Oh, and I just want to talk about Wandavision finale on Friday. I'm so looking forward to this. On Friday, if you haven't seen Wandavision, go watch it. It's part of the Marvel superhero universe. I can't talk about it too much because I don't want to give anything away. But there's a stellar cast and design. There's so many acting styles, so many different worlds created, and you want to know more as you watch. But if you wait, the whole show will be spoiled. Somebody out there will tell you about it, or you'll be scrolling and you'll see something. So go watch it now. Jaylene, have you seen any of it? Has Lawrence?
No, actually, he has. Yeah.
Okay. As long as one of you has. What are you looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to my birthday. That's on March 16th. But I'm also looking. I was like, what is he doing? You were taking a bite. My gosh. I'm also looking forward to the release of the book. Yesterday, actually, it was released. It's called Professional Troublemaker by Lovey Ajayi Jones. And I'm really looking forward to reading it and also attending her virtual book event tonight, which she is doing with another one of my favorite people, Kev on Stage. So professional troublemakers are people committed to not letting fear talk them out of the things they need to do or say. So this book is like a fear fighter manual, and I am really looking forward to reading it. So get your copy. Go to lovey.org. That's LUVVIE.org. Yeah, I'm really excited for that.
Nice. And with that, we're going to move into some Pank games. All right, let's warm ourselves up. So
gosh.
We're going to start with our alphabet one. We just go back ABC. You know how this goes, and we have to talk about why we chose that one. Our category, because it's birthday month, is birthdays.
Oh, God.
So A is your letter.
A for advancing in age.
Okay. B for birthday.
C for cake.
D for drinking. You want to drink, get drunk on your birthday.
E for engaging.
F is for fire. You're going to blow out the candles.
G is for great.
H is for happy.
I is for I'm going to have a amazing time.
J is for Jaylene, because she's going to have an amazing time.
K is for what's K for? K is for
No, keep digging, keep filing. She's going through the files.
K is for a kickback, a birthday kickback.
Okay, I'll take that. HIJKL is for lit. Your birthday party's lit.
M is for money in that birthday card.
N is for newness.
O is for oh snap, you cute.
P is for party, because on your birthday you party.
Q is for
Yep, you got it. Yeah.
Q is for Akeem, because he's a Q, and I'm gonna see Akeem at some point during my birthday. Boom.
Okay, I'll take that. Okay. Akeem was a guest on our show and a Philly actor here. QR is for restaurants, because you're going to like 18 of them on your birthday.
S is for slay.
T is for time ticking.
U is for unbelievable memories made.
Nice. V is for variety. Just a variety of gifts.
What's after V?
W.
W is for winning.
X is for extra. That's the day you can be extra. I know that's EX, but that's extra.
Oh, so then Y is for why not?
What? Oh, yeah. Z is for zest. Oh, we've done zest before because it's your birthday. Let's put a little zest on it.
Zest on it. Yes. Do we have time for that second thing?
I don't think so. Then we'll save it. We'll save it.
Okay. So we'll save it for maybe our next episode. So our next episode is going to be the birthday party sleepover episode. It is going to be on Wednesday, March 17th at 9 p.m. Y'all, we return into the evening. So get that Poppa drink, and it's going to be a sleepover. So, come in your pajamas. I'll have on mine. My birthday will have been the day before, so I'll be a whole year older, unwiser. And we're also going to have some special guests. So you want to stay tuned for that, but it's going to be a nice celebration. So
remember, it's Poppa Pank, not green. We know that's St. Patrick's Day, but we don't do that in here right now, but because it's birthday month and it's Pank and it's pajama day. We're going to be on our episode for 24 hours. You can just drop in whenever you want. That's a lie. Just 9 p.m. for an hour.
9 p.m. And with that,
it's our Pank freestyle. So give me my category. As always, we end every episode with a freestyle. We are not freestyle artists, but we enjoy the challenge. What is my category?
Your category is awards.
Ooh. You win some, you lose some, they say time and again. I want to be a winner, but I need to learn how to bend, because life isn't in that binary win and lose. Sometimes you're given what you're given, and sometimes you choose. So take a deep breath, move on with your life. Awards mean nothing, and we won't have any strife. Oh my gosh. Okay.
You had a whole story.
I've had better in the past. Okay, yours is because it's birthday month. It's birthday month. Let's talk about celebrate.
Okay. It's time to celebrate like it's your birthday. Do what you want. Eat what you may. Get your nails done. Get your hair real tight. Do whatever you want, because it's all right.
I love that one. So we really have to just sew them together as their own thing, or just like send them to people on their birthday, or like little nugget.
There you go. Well, I think that's it, right?
Yeah. What projects do you have coming up?
Oh. We are hosting the Wilma Theater Fete.
Mm-hmm.
April 11th at 5:30 p.m. You can get tickets at wilmatheater.org/FET-2021. So FETE-2021. This is the annual Fete for the Wilma. It's their main fundraiser for the season. So your crucial support makes it possible for us to present our innovative and artistic productions and continue the community outreach and educational programs during this panorama that we are in. Justin and I are company members at the Wilma Theater. So we are really excited to be hosting. And so the shenanigans will be high and the joy will be brought. The headliner is local Philly artist Low Cut Connie. He was named the Pandemic Person of the Year by The New Yorker, recently featured on NPR, and played the Biden administration's inauguration last month. So you do not want to miss the Fete. Get your tickets and more. See the info below.
Yes, I already talked about the Hot House shorts, but I do want to mention how Jaylene said that we're in a panorama, which I love. The pandemic is kind of like a panorama picture. You're just like looking around and everywhere you are. Anyway, let's end the episode with my proverb. What do you have? So proverbs, I don't know how they go. I don't know how these sayings go, and I always mess them up. So give me a situation and I will try to get it right.
Give us a proverb about getting older.
Well, how does that saying go? It's not about the road, but about the sights along the road.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful.
Is that a saying? Or is it like it's not about the road, it's about the journey? Is that it?
Listen.
It's not about the road, but about the sights along the road, y'all.
Thank you for that wisdom. If you would like to donate to Poppa Pank, we keep saying, give us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts, even though we're not there yet. But it's coming. Okay, we are in the process of getting on onto the podcast platforms, but we're leveling up. So in this process of leveling up, if you would like to help us out, please feel free to donate. We're on Cash App. At the $sign at Poppa Pank, or PayPal at paypal.me/Poppa Pank, or you can just email us at poppapank@gmail if you don't have any of those methods but still want to donate. All right.
Some credits. Poppa Pank, thanks. Thank you, Jordan McCrae, who wrote our music, Tracy Cassius, our studio editor, all of our past guests, and you, our followers, our Pank Poppas, thank you, who are tuned in with us right now. Please plug us on social media and subscribe to us on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram.
And as Paul has said, we've made it a Pankdemic. He always has the best Pank puns.
A lot of puns.
All right, y'all. Well, with that said, we will see you for the sleepover. Bring your pajamas. Woogie. Bye.